Now that Anthony gave you a good grasp of the lead lifecycle, it's my turn to give you the technical foundation we do here at Leanscale to make sure you have data that you can trust, it's a data that is reportable, and systems that work smoothly, meaning it's optimized and doesn't consume too much processing power. I'm going to perform a quick demo of a new lead that comes in from the website into Salesforce and then goes all the way from the beginning to the end of the lead lifecycle. Then next, I'm going a little bit deeper into the technical world and explain what we need. I'm going to give a deep dive in the systems, going through all the custom fields that you need, also all the automations that are in place. Okay, let's move forward with the quick demo. I'm going through a new lead that comes in through the website, goes all the way up from ML to SQL. And then later, I'm gonna show a little bit of reporting, a dashboard that we use. And it's very helpful for marketing and sales teams. With that, I'm gonna record my screen so you can see all the details about it. We already recreated a lead that came in through the website using a case study form, and the marketing automation tool actually scored it at 5 points. And now I'm gonna explain a little bit of the points that we use for each lead lifecycle stage. It's gonna be up until 20, 0 to 20 for ML. From 20 to 50, it's MEL. It's engaged. Above 50 is MQL. Then when a lead has a meeting scheduled with a salesperson, it goes into SAL. And finally, when a lead is converted into an opportunity, it's SQL. Now let's score this lead a little higher because it kept downloading new stuff from the website. The scoring system is going up, up, up. So HubSpot score is gonna go to 25, and we're gonna see all the changes that our automation is making behind the scenes. So as you can see, it hit the marketing engaged lead, and also we have a timestamp right here. Then next, the lead is ready for a person to reach out. He actually requested a demo. So HubSpot score is now at 60. Okay, hit 60, we have a timestamp, and MQL was hit. Now, SDR reach out to this lead and sees a good fit, and then schedules a meeting with a salesperson. Let's move the status. That means that status needs to be changed to meeting scheduled. Once that happens, SAL is hit, and the timestamp is also put in the system. The salesperson meets with this lead and sees an opportunity. Let's go now and convert this lead to an opportunity. Once we do that, the automation will carry over all the timestamps to the opportunity level. As you can see here, at this opportunity, we have all the timestamps carried over. We also have the primary contact. We like to put the primary contact as a separate custom field because it's easier, makes everything easier for the seller to go and look right at the opportunity page, who's the primary contact. It also helps us identify the primary contact so we can carry over all the information into the opportunity. And finally, I'm gonna show a little bit of the reporting that we use here in Salesforce. We put everything into a dashboard. It's very helpful for marketing, sales, and other teams. So this is a marketing executive dashboard with conversion rates. We do have conversion rates from MQL to SAL, SAL to SQL. We do have other metrics, anything that was won by marketing, then other metrics on SQLs, SALs, MQLs. Now let's do a deep dive of what we did in Salesforce to make sure we accomplish everything that we done and we seen in here. So as I mentioned before, we use several custom fields. I'm gonna list everything on your screen right now. We do have the lead lifecycle stage field. We also have the primary contact field. We recommend using the primary contact field, but it's not mandatory. With that, let's move forward with the first automation of the day. It's gonna be a record trigger flow. We try to make this automation as simple as possible. So as you can see here, it's optimized for, HubSpot changes the HubSpot score quite often for several leads at the same time. We don't want to run into risks of hitting any limits. So we try to optimize for high performance. And as you can see here on the trigger, we actually chose a record trigger flow. That means that anytime a change or a new record is added to the system, it's going to trigger this automation. But we do have a very important entry condition. So let's start from the top. It's a flow that runs at the lead object level. It triggers the flow when a new record is created or updated. The entry condition is very important. We don't want it to run every time a new change happens in the system. So we added 4 conditions for it to run. The very first one is if a status is changed to meeting schedule, or if a score is changed, or if a lead record is new, or if a record has just converted. With that, the flow is optimized for fast field updates. That's the one that we need. That's a high performance flow. It runs before a record saved. So in the Salesforce architecture, it consumes less processing power. And now let's just dig into what we need to update at the lead level. The flow only updates the timestamps, which is awesome, and the lead lifecycle stage field. Now, if we go into each of the formulas that we use for the update, we have for ML that it makes sure the create date is added if it's not populated already. So we did an if statement. If the record datetime is not, if the datetime field for ML is not blank, then keep the same or add the created date. The same happens with the formula number 2 for MEL. Then we have 5 statements. The first one is if the datetime mail is already in place, keep it. Otherwise, let's make sure it runs. Then in the second line, if the HubSpot score is 20, or SAL happens, or a lead record is converted, then we add the current time, or we keep it null. The reason why we added these many conditions for SAL, SQL, is to make sure when a lead record skips the lead lifecycle stages, let's say moves from ML to SAL, it doesn't skip timestamping all the skipped stages. The same logic will apply for all the other formulas. So formula number 3 tells us that if the MQL is not empty, then we keep the MQL timestamp. Then if the HubSpot score is above 50, or a meeting is scheduled, or it's a SAL, or a lead is converted, same logic as before, then adds a new time at the current time, or keep it null. Then for formula number 4, we have that a little bit similar, but if the record has the timestamp for SAL already, keep it. Or if the SAL happens with the status equals meeting schedule, or a lead is converted, then it gives the current time, or else it's a null. And finally, for the formula number 5, if a lead record is converted and SQL is not blank, then keep the same timestamp or adds the current time. Otherwise, keep it null. And lastly, for the lead lifecycle formula, we add everything that we discussed here today. So if a lead record is converted, we put it as SQL. It's good if you put everything in the formula backwards, so starting from SQL down to ML. The reason why is that if a lead record is in the later stages, it doesn't go back, right? So this formula makes sure they are exactly in the stage that they are in right now. So starting with the SQL, moving forward with the SAL, when a timestamp is not blank or a meeting is scheduled, or the lead status is equal to meeting schedule. Then next is when the HubSpot score is above 50, it means it's a MEQL. Then next is once a HubSpot score is above 20, it's a MEL. Otherwise, it gives the ML lead lifecycle stage. As you can see, it involves a lot of logical thinking. You need to make sure there are no holes in your formula, in your automation, and you need to be able to capture every scenario. Otherwise, the automation will fail and you're gonna miss important piece of data. Now that you know how the lead lifecycle automation works at the lead level, it's my turn to come with the second automation of the day. It's gonna be an additional supplementary automation to help move some of the data when a lead is converted into an opportunity. It's important because a lot of the automation happens when a lead is converted, and that data also needs to move into the opportunity after it's converted. Okay, and then here we are with the second automation of the day. It's another record trigger flow. It's gonna trigger when a lead is converted and runs when the record is updated. And of course, we make sure it only runs when the lead conversion happens. So we tag the only when a record is updated to meet the conditional requirements. Because it involves updating a different object, we are forced to use the actions and related record. Optimization for the flow. Now we do have two elements on this flow. First is getting the create up, so it's a get records element. It will search for an opportunity with the ID that's equal to the opportunity that was created after the conversion. You only get the first record and you can store all the fields. Next is moving to the second element of the day. It's the update records called update opportunity in here.
And it's gonna use a lot of the information from the get created opportunity element right on top. The reason why is we are gonna use a lot of the formulas again, so we can populate date times and make sure none of them are missing. So starting here, we do have the object called opportunity, of course. We filter opportunity records by setting the ID equals to opportunity, use the get created opportunity ID, or you can also use the one from the record opportunity converted ID. Next is we do have all the fields listed in here, so all the timestamps. Also, we included the primary contact in case it's missing, and all the formulas starting with the ML, and they are essentially the same. It's an if statement that will look if the timestamp at the opportunity level is blank or not. And if it's blank, it's gonna get the timestamp from the lead record that's triggering this flow. If it's not blank, then we ask it to keep the same data. Now checking MEL, you're gonna see it's essentially the same formula, but using different fields. Same logic. So MQL is the same as well, and SAL is also same. A very similar logic applies to the primary contact field. You just have to point it to the primary contact. So it's another if statement with the is blank, and then the end result is you get the contact ID, the converted contact ID from the lead record, and add it to the primary contact at the opportunity level. If it already exists, keep it the same. Lastly, we are missing the SQL. So the SQL is actually added in here at the update records element. Since it's just happening, you don't need a formula for that. We know it's blank, you add it right here. With that, this is the end of the second flow and last flow of the day. We covered all the custom fields that you need, one field per lead lifecycle stage. You need to have them at the lead level, the opportunity level, and make sure you have the two automations in place, one for populating all the timestamps when they are needed. Second is to make sure these timestamps actually migrate when a lead is converting to an opportunity. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.